Welcome, everybody. We are starting sharply at 3 o'clock for a change. How's that? We're getting so good at this thing. We're finding different avenues to stream this thing from. I am trying to find areas where my kids are not shouting at me and asking me to do things and stuff like that. But so here we are again. Welcome. I want to ask you guys to please just say hi to us on the chat. Tell us where you're from while we're waiting for everybody to log on. Thank you for joining us. And yeah, we hope it will be an informative one. And we will give you also later on, we'll give you a snippet of what's going to come in the next couple of webinars. We've got some really, really good information for you guys as well. So yeah, please stay tuned. And we'll give it maybe a few more seconds. We've got about 10 odd people in at the moment. Maybe people are not used to us starting on time.
Well, this is the first time that we managed to go live and live on Facebook at the same time in terms of this.
Yeah, no, like I said, we're getting good at this.
Some fun challenges linking into Facebook sometimes, though, which has been strange.
Exactly. Anyway, I think let's hit it. Let's get this show on the road.
Yeah, absolutely.
Trevor, will you do us an intro?
Absolutely. So yes, guys, welcome once again to the Green Room. Very excited to have you with us in the Green Room with Trevor Thomas and my business partner Lenny de Villiers. And we are obviously the Induku Group, and it's so great to have you with us. What we do is we obviously help people to live your dream, if it's your dream to go to America and have a green card. So we're going to dive in a little bit deeper in terms of that. So I'm not going to spend too much time on the introduction. Last week, not last week, on Tuesday, goodness me, I forget where we are currently with this lockdown. So on Tuesday, we obviously opened up exactly what we offer and what that means. And we'll touch just with a quick summary and then go into the balance of that. And we'll finish that off today. But Len, maybe if you want to just quickly touch on the Green Room.
Yes, hi guys. The Green Room, as we always say, is a fascinating space that we have created. It's something that we've done research on to try and see if there is something like this out there. Where do people go if they want to get information and stuff? You either had to go to a lawyer that would give you his idea of immigration and certain other information around it, stuff he knows of. But a relaxed atmosphere like this where we can discuss the immigration of our program, which is the Live Your Dream program, and also general immigration. Like we've covered the other day, documentation, we've covered the psychology of immigration, and not just cover it, we have only touched on it. I mean, and we are looking forward to sitting with Maria again. And please, guys, I mean, if this is something that you found very, very interesting, post your questions for us when we have Maria on again, so that we can prep her on these things. I mean, there must be things that you guys are struggling as well to get your head around with immigration. Maybe you are struggling to tell family about it. Tell how do I quit? You know, what is there's certain things I'm scared about immigration. How do I deal with these type of things? And the next few topics that we are going to cover, we normally do this at the end where we tell you guys what we are going to cover for the next few weeks. We are excited to say that next week we're going to be covering financial immigration. That is going to be quite a great topic. We are going to discuss with two panelists that we're going to have on, and we're really looking forward to that. And then the other one we are going to be covering is two other ones in the next couple of sessions. The first one is the medical. So US medical and the necessity for these type of things. What is the differences in state medical? Why do I need private medical and stuff like that? And also we are going to be covering a very, very important topic. Everybody has asked about it. Is it immigration with pets? Okay, and we're going to highlight some of the key things about what you should be focusing on, the cost of getting your pet across, and when they can come across with you. So guys, welcome to the green room. Please utilize this as much as possible. Put your questions out for us. We really thrive on community in this program where you guys are active, where you guys put out the questions you want. We try and cover as much as possible, and future topics. Guys, if you want to have a topic, if you've got an immigration topic in mind and we haven't thought about it, please put it up for us and we do the investigation for you, and then we will cover it as much as possible. So just to recap on what we have done on Tuesday. Tuesday, we started unpacking the Live Your Dream program. This is how we would normally take this program through an applicant that is thinking about joining our program, and we would cover the details of every step. So what we would do, we would cover the documentation needed, we would the application forms that you will be filling in, and we covered the Department of Labor process as well. And there's one more topic that we want to cover as well a little bit later on, and that's the guarantee in the program. We didn't touch on it on Tuesday, but it's a very, 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 very important part of our program, and it's a part of our program that we really proud about as well, because not a lot of people offer guarantees in something like this. I think, and then where we are, we covered the green card, we covered the EB3 green card and what it means, and we covered also the value of the green card. So the value of the green card is something that every person, when he's new or thinking about our program, do your research and find out what the benefits are for a green card. I cannot emphasize that enough, is because it is the fundamentals of what our program is built on. And once you understand the benefits and what the green cards can give you as access into America and what it gives, then it actually makes our program so much more clearer, and it makes it eventually where you go, it's a no-brainer. All right. So without further ado, we're going to continue from after Department of Labor approval. All right. And then we're going to start digging into the rest of it until you are in America. So Trevor, tell us a little bit about the DS-260 forms.
Yeah, absolutely. So just to touch, Len, quickly on that which you've mentioned, I think if anybody missed Tuesday's webinar, that they know that they can just you can either scroll up on Facebook or obviously ask for the link. We can send you the link. And once again, just before we get into this, there are a lot of people that are watching currently that are obviously part of the program already. So this might not be for you, but I think that in saying that, the second phase of what we're going to deal with is very pertinent and very relative to the people that are currently watching. So continue to watch with us and listen to what we have to say. If you have any questions, then kindly drop it onto this chat. So you're right, Len, the DS-260, and I think what happens with many people is when they first open that DS-260, they get a fright and they're not 100% sure about how to fill this document in. So the DS-260 is obviously a form that needs to be completed online, and it's the form that gets uploaded into the immigration system. Now, USCIS stands for the United States Citizen Immigration Services, and what that is per se is immigration. So this is where everything comes to play with regards to the documentation that Lenny and I have spoken to you about. So in other words, we obviously have this document, which is the DS-260, which has every single part of your life into it. So in the last 16 years, where you've stayed, where you studied, all that sort of specific information. The big thing about the DS-260 form is not to be scared of it, but embrace it. It is a little bit complicated. Some people do battle to fill it in. So what we're going to have, actually, maybe Lenny, we can discuss this now. In the next four meetings, we're also going to have someone from Visa Solutions that will be part of the webinar, showing you exactly how to complete your DS-260, and also, once again, just explaining the importance of the DS-260 form. But what's critical about the DS-260 form is complete and utter transparency. Be completely honest in our document. Every single thing needs to be 100% accurate. Now, I'm not saying that you have to say that I left on the Tuesday 1977 and then I moved to this. We're not talking about the Tuesday. What I'm talking about is that the dates and the stuff that is on there. We can't have you go to a consulate interview and they ask you a question pertinent to something that you filled in on the form and you don't know what you wrote. So that's why keep to what the facts are, keep to what that story is. Mm-hmm. Every one of your family members in your family would be required to complete the DS-260 form. So that especially means not just main applicant and spouse. If you have 3 kids, 2 kids, 1 child, 5 children, each one of you has to have a DS-260 form, mm-hmm. and then accompanied with that would be the documentation that needs to be with that. Len, I think what's maybe important at this point in time is a lot of people have been talking to you and I about police clearances. What do we do about our police clearances? When is it really relative? Because I've gone to a police station. I mean, we had 2 people that you and I know of this morning that went to the police station and arrived there and they said, this is not an essential service. We can't help.
Yeah. Yeah. It is a good, and also the process keeps changing, but the process keeps, needs fine tuning, if I can use that word, meaning that, you know, in the beginning, to take it back to what to the trucking program, for instance, for the trucking program, I mean, we had people that could get you a police clearance within 15 days. I mean, these things have obviously changed now. Now we are in a process of the importance of getting a police clearance at this stage. So when you have your Department of Labor approval, we take your the police clearance and we take your DS-260 forms and we take your unabridged birth certificate and we take your unabridged marriage certificate if it is applicable to you, and then we take it as a package and we send everything to America and we submit you to the next phases. You know, so in our program, yes, the police clearance certificate is only used for later on in the process, but I think we were also just telling people we will tell you when to get your police clearance certificates because it's got an expiry date to it. But at the moment, it on average takes about 10 to 12 weeks to get a police clearance certificate. And that is sometimes with some help from someone to do it. So also with the information that we've got just from today, how people will just want to go and apply for this type of thing, they can't go and apply. So the delay is even longer. We are hoping that if we get to a phase 3 of lockdown, this might become an essential service where people can then just at least go and apply for this thing. You know, so it is a worry for us. So we are asking people that as soon as you can, please, if you are at any stage of the Department of Labor and you are expecting your certificate anytime now, or if you've got your Department of Labor approval already, go and get your police clearance as soon as possible, please. There's another thing we want to highlight as well. You wanted to mention something, Trev?
Yeah, Len, I think that, you know, in your and my experience now as well, for example, with documentation that we're waiting for from America, we've managed to get that out now, showing them proof that it's for an essential service in terms of Induku Group.
Oh, so you're talking about the Department of Labor approvals we've gotten already for people to sign. Okay. Yeah.
So I think what we must maybe do as well is perhaps something that we can investigate for everybody is to confirm if it's part of an essential service, if they would be able to look at doing police clearances. You know, at this point in time, we've obviously heard that the police, although the police system is working, that they don't feel that police clearances are part of essential services. So what we can do is we'll keep people updated as you and I also get information. We'll see which way we can play it. Yeah, but I think that what everyone needs to know is that, look, you know, we're mindful of the fact, as well as everybody that's processing your documentation, we know that it's not your fault that you can't go and get a police clearance certificate at the moment. And yes, you weren't asked to do it prior to this point in time because of the fact that it's only valid for 6 months. So don't stress about that, but it will be obviously part of the requirement is to do so. The minute we do know that we can get out of this place of not being able to get it and processing it, let's get our police clearances done. So Len, so straight after United States Citizen Immigration Services, which was obviously, before we had the lockdown and before we had a situation of what happened with the delays, we would generally get within 45 days a United States citizen immigration approval. So now, without that expeditory factor being in place, this could extend the process and it could extend the timeline in terms of those approvals. It doesn't hamper, though, the people that are currently in our program, because they already know that they can only be submitted to National Visa Center from the 1st of October onwards. So, you know, in reality, completely transparent, there is a more lengthy process for you to go through at United States citizen immigration. However, it doesn't impact your timeline that Lenny and I gave to you from the beginning, which is approximately your 18-month scenario. So I think that's important, Lenny, that the guys just also understand it. Those are them that are with us today that are part of the program. For people that are wanting to join the program, always bearing in mind it's an immigration process. This could take us, I'm saying at the moment, we would stick to an 18-month scenario. I don't even want to go 12 to 18 months, because if you're now joining the process, there's certain factors that need to happen, which probably extend the timeline slightly. But, you know, yeah, let's call it 14 to 18 months then.
Yeah, I agree. So I just saw another question come through here, Trevor, just to go back onto the police clearances and stuff like that. I stand to be correct. I think you only need a police clearance from when you are 16 years and up.
Yes.
Yeah. So that is, if that answers your question, Etienne, so from 16 age up, you'd require a police clearance. Also, just on the back of that, guys, I mean, I know this has not got anything to do with immigration, but this is something that can influence your immigration, obviously. And obviously, it can influence your guarantee, when we'll speak about that just now. Guys, is what we've seen at the moment is that how strict the government has become on any of these lockdown rules that are broken. I mean, I've heard of cases where a guy was cycling or exercising just outside of the curfew time, which is 9 o'clock, and he got arrested, and he needs to appear in court in August. So there's a good chance that this guy will have a criminal record just because of something small that he's done. So once again, because of our heart for you guys and the money that is invested in something like this, I want to urge you guys, just stick with the rules for now. It will get lighter as we go into phase 3 and phase 2 in this process, but don't jeopardize your immigration program by doing something small that is outside of these requirements at the moment, because you might get it expunged and stuff like that. But as there's time, there's money, and there's always issues around these type of things. So on that side, please stay clear of breaking any rules and stuff like that. Get your permits in order, and rather stay home if you don't have them. All right. So just on the back of that, that's all I wanted to urge you guys on the back of that. All right. So coming back to so criminal records, we've spoken about the USCIS, we've spoken about. Are we now at the NVC stage, Trev?
NVC, yeah. So I just want to quickly, I see there's another question over here, and sorry, Len, I think it's maybe a question that everyone was asking. You already mentioned the age, and we've got a question here. Is it only main applicant that needs to apply? No, everybody that's above 16, it's a part of your process. The second part to that question is, should we try and get the police clearances now, even before the Department of Labor approval? I think so. You know what, I think, Richard, to talk to your question, for you, the minute that we can get police clearances happening, yes, I would say you go ahead and get your police clearance. You're already part of the program, so that answers your question. Guys, keep letting your questions come through. If we can get to them, we'll get all of them. So straight after USCIS, that next step that happens in this process is we submit you to the National Visa Center. The National Visa Center, once again, all of this happens in America. National Visa Center is exactly that. They handle the administration of the visa. So they now go and vet the process that the Department of Labor followed, that the United States Citizen Immigration Service followed, and they then go and check these dynamics about what your whole process is. So this is literally the last point before they're going to invite you to come for your consulate interview. Extremely important that obviously understanding that this time frame, that is, should we call it an auditing process before you get your visa? That would probably be the easiest way to understand it. Lenny, and then obviously what happens is we would get, for example, a welcome letter, and the welcome letter would give us an indication that, listen, you are now going to be invited to a consulate interview, and that means that you need to go and have your medicals done and completed. As most of the people know in the program, we've got 2 centers, one in Cape Town and one in Sandton. You go through for your medicals. The medicals have to be completed at least 2 weeks prior to your actual consulate interview. Medicals are not cheap. Rand value 6,500 Rand per adult and 4,500 Rand per child. And obviously that is not part of the monies that you pay or your investment into your green card. Those medicals are separate, and for each family is different. It depends on how many kids you've got and how many, whatever the case may be. Maybe Len, maybe just a touch on medicals. Some people get a bit scared about medicals. I think what's important to understand is medicals will be looking at certain factors like tuberculosis, which is very, very important for the American market. They obviously check that all of your kids have had the inoculations that were supposed to have happened, and they will do certain tests that, blood works and x-rays.
Yeah.
Nothing to be concerned about. If you, for example, have hypertension, what they would do is they would zone into the fact of, for example, I'm one of those persons. I've got hypertension. So when were you diagnosed? What was the prognosis? Do you have tablets, and can this be treated in America? So they're not going to discriminate against you if you have some sort of a situation like that. So don't worry about that. The medicals, we've only had one guy throughout this process that was declined at medical, and unfortunately, Len, you'll remember that was a very, very sad case. He didn't even know about it. The poor guy had stage 4 lung cancer, and that was a very, very sad moment. But that's the only case that we had where there was a decline, and obviously that's self-explanatory.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Shame. You also, what we do as well, we do in the program when we talk to you and stuff, we try and give you a worst case scenario with every stage, so that you don't get to something and you say, I didn't know. So as much as every stage is a process on its own, so is the main medicals. So the main medicals as well. That's why we do say to you, do not stress about it. We do give you the whole scope about it, but we do say to you, we will guide you through that process as well, meaning not tell you what to say, but how to say these things. Obviously, everything from the program in the beginning is honesty. Everything is clarity and transparency. But as this doctor is also writing a report on you and your family, is that you answer questions, obviously, as you are asked the whole time. So it's to bear in mind that it is just part of the process, and as Trevor says, they will not discriminate against things that are either weight-wise or be it any condition that can be controlled with medication, be it diabetic or asthma and stuff like that. So it is just part of the process, and at least this needs to be done at least 2 weeks before your actual consulate date. So what we try and highlight for the people is that when you have been given your consulate date, so we don't say to you, book as soon as you get a welcome letter from NVC to go and phone the doctor and say to him, okay, I want to do my main medical. It might take you 4 months before you get your consulate date. And now there's an expiry date also on these main medicals. So you cannot go anytime you want to. You have to go at least 2 weeks before your consulate date. But you've got to go for a certain period that obviously within that scope when your main medical is actually valid. So the doctor knows about the timelines. We help you with the contact details and stuff like that. If you are based in Joburg, you go see the Dr. Hussan, and if you're based in Cape Town, you go see Dr. Bauer. These doctors know what they're doing. They write their report, and they are professional.
I think to that point, Len, obviously the medical goes directly to the consulate. It doesn't even come into the hands of you or I or anyone else. It doesn't go to Visa Solutions. It doesn't go to any other authority besides the consulate. At which point, obviously, when you go through for your consulate interview, I think some of you guys have obviously that are maybe have toured America, you know what happened when you went to the embassy, you had your interview, and at which point, if you are successful through your process, which by right at that point, this is just a formality, they would keep your passport, and your passport would then be returned to you within about 3 days via DHL, and that would then inside there have your permanent residency visa in your passport. I think what's critical about this is that this is what is so clear for you to understand, that you will have a green card before you leave South Africa and go to America. This is not something that once you're in America, you still got to wait for such and such a period, or you still got to have to do this, or you still have to try and do that or apply for this. You will be leaving South African soil with a green card in hand for you and your family. And we've spoken about, even Diane mentioned about the golden ticket. That green card is in your document. So should we talk on relocation slightly then, just in terms of what the package offers?
Yeah, I just wanted to have a look. There's a couple of questions that came through on the Facebook side as well. If you can just have a quick look at those ones, and then I'll touch on the relocation side for us. Okay, so within the package and the program, what you get the services of a relocation team. So this relocation team is based in Houston, Texas, and they are obviously a department or division from Visa Solutions. So what they will do for you right at the end, when you go for your consulate interview, at that stage, when you get your green card, obviously then they know all your stuff is in order and you are coming to America. You will be made in touch with estate agents that can help you with accommodation on that side. You would know that because you don't have a credit score, Visa Solutions do have relationships with these people to help you get accommodation set up for a short period of time, or for a longer period rentals and stuff if you qualify for those things. They help you set up these things. They can help you beforehand also set up meetings for schools that you want to send your kids to. They also help you convert your driver's license to an American driver's license. So as you got to understand with American credit score and stuff like that, if you have a good American credit score, everything is cheaper. That is the same with vehicle insurance. So you're going to land in America and you're going to want to buy a vehicle. Okay, so the advice that we've been given from people that have done this process already on immigration to America have said the first year at least, before you get a good credit score, you buy the cheapest vehicle that you can afford for your family and your convenience. So what that actually does is that it makes obviously your insurance cheaper as well. If you're going to rock up, buy a vehicle on your South African driver's license, your vehicle insurance will be triple the price as what it should be. If you've converted it to an American driver's license, your insurance goes a little bit cheaper. So it's not like here in South Africa where you are able to drive the vehicle off the lot without insurance. There it is against the law. You cannot do this without insurance. Okay, so we do have a process, obviously having the trucking program also in place, how we convert the trucking driver's license very, very quickly to American driver's license. We have got a process like that in place as well, which helps you a lot. So the relocation team does all those for you. If you don't have a bank account yet, they help you with that as well. They help you get a social security number as well. And the best of the relocation team, I think, is they come and fetch you at the airport, which is such a great service, because I can imagine people are so emotional. I think it's a battle between being emotional and being excited about this new adventure. But you land and you're going to go hire a car and you don't know where to go, and you've got to try and get your GPS going, and mommy is fighting with daddy, and just a bit of a mess, So if you have someone there with your name on a board and says, welcome to America, and they take you to your thing, it starts your journey off quite well. I think that is it is a great add, and it's a great value add as well. So, I've seen a couple of questions come through for for the price of the program and stuff like that, we do want to urge you guys that, get in contact with us so we can talk you through the cost of the program. What is included in the program, what is not included in this program. I think to discuss these things on a webinar like that is not the way we want to do business. It's not the way we find it as unprofessional to do it that way. So please get in contact with us. Our numbers are available to you guys. Give us a call. We can talk you through these things and we can make a plan.
Yeah, Len, so should we quickly just touch on some of the questions that have come through on Facebook, just so the guys know that we're trying to get through all of them. Yeah. We have a question with regards to someone that got a police clearance in January 2020 of this year. So by right, your police clearance is valid for 6 months. If you were going to consulate before October, that would have been fine, but the reality is that you're going to have to do another police clearance, unfortunately, Scott. There was another question with regards to, and I hope I'm seeing all of them. Sorry, I wasn't on that. Tambo's busy sending them through to me. What if you don't have your, I think the question was, what if you don't have your vaccines in place for your kids and that sort of stuff? So what Dr. Sun would do, for example, is when he does the blood test, if he feels that there's something there, then they would provide those vaccines for you if that was what was required. Obviously, so for example, in some of the places you don't have to have certain vaccines. Some of them, so for example, in South Africa, a lot of the vaccines are very relative. America don't always look at some of those. So the best to answer those questions is Dr. Sun himself. I don't want to answer any of those questions on that side of things.
Yeah.
So guys, yeah, I think that that speaks a lot of what the program is and what the program offers. So yes, is there investment required? Absolutely. Is there investment into your green card? There is an investment, and like Lenny said, contact us and we can discuss that with you. Let's talk about the guarantees to the program. There are two things that will stop you from us getting you a green card. The first one is a criminal record. Now, we're not talking now about a criminal record that was expunged, although if you had that, you have to be completely transparent on your DS260 and give all the detail as to why that happened. So, for example, I do know of the one guy that there was a situation that by right you think to yourself that that's not sort of relative, but he obviously had, it was something on his name. You need to then be transparent about that on your DS260, that was what happened, that was the date of expungement, and those are the facts. So be clear about that. If it was never expunged and you do have a police record, I'm sorry, we can't help you. And that's not just America. It's to the point of Australia, New Zealand. It doesn't matter where you're going to immigrate to, you're going to need that police clearance, and it needs to be clear. The other thing I think, Lenny, that I don't know if we did mention in this, we did it before in the webinar, your police clearance you'd need to have if you stayed in any other country for longer than 6 months, or up, so up to 6 months is fine. 6 months and plus you need a police clearance. So for example, if you were in the UK, when you just matriculated, you're in the UK for 3 years, we need a police clearance from the United Kingdom. Okay. So to speak on the second thing that will stop us from helping you get a green card is this: if you were ever in the United States of America on a visa of whatever sorts it was a tourist visa, it was an H2A, an H2B, a cultural visa, you were there for 6 months, you were supposed to, for example, leave on the 31st of August, and you only left on the 4th of September, you are in breach of your visa. That can lead up to a 10-year ban. It is that you need to be completely transparent about. If you're talking to Lenny or myself, that is more of a problem than a police clearance, literally. It becomes a big factor. So if there's a problem with the visa that you had previously with the United States of America, you have to be transparent about that. Outside of that, the program gives you a guarantee that we will get you a green card on the back of an EB3 permanent employee based visa. Now, that guarantee effectively means this, that if we are unsuccessful in something that we did, we dropped the ball or whatever the case may be, you would get a refund, excluding some of the department fees, but it would probably be, I mean, if we look at about percentages, there's a small percentage to that. So you could pretty much look at the fact that you'd be getting a full refund on your investment, okay? That does not mean, however, that if you were required to provide us with your DS260 form and you didn't do that and the Department of Labor document expires, that is once again pushed back to you. So if you fulfilled what you needed to do, and you covered all the bases that you had to do, we give you a guarantee that things in line. And there's no hidden agenda there. A Department of Labor approval is valid for 6 months. Your medical is valid for 6 months. So there's no gray areas. It's a fact. If you had Department of Labor approval on such and such a date, it's valid for X amount of time. You know what that validity is. Okay. Then I don't know if I've missed anything with regards to that, but maybe you can just unpack it slightly more if you feel.
No, I think we did cover everything. I mean, that guarantee is also on any basis that doesn't get you. So the guarantee covers if it is not your fault and your process is not successful, you get your money back. So it's the same. It covers if Trump, I like to give you worst case scenario. If Trump decides, listen, all the immigrants, I don't want any immigrants in my country anymore. And that also is covered in your guarantee. So for anything that is not your fault. And it's why we said we are so grateful for something like this, because people don't offer guarantees. If you're going to go through any other program, I don't know how many programs out there are, but I mean, if you go an EB5 route and it costs you $1 million to get you an investment side, another $75,000 for your immigration process. I mean, I know of people, sorry, I know of people that have lost their investment money in this green card. And there's always a chance that you can lose your green card as well. You don't have that with our program, so if something would happen once you've immigrated and something happened to the company, that's not, it's got nothing to do with your green card then. You are still free to then do whatever you want. Yeah. So guys, it's been fun.
I think in closing, Len, I think what we also just need to mention to guys is that obviously our heart is there to help. And I think that everyone will speak to the point as well that there is zero fees charged to anybody up until such a time as we are going to submit you to the Department of Labor. So if you want to consult with us and ask us questions and email us and WhatsApp us, and even if you're in part of a different program and you'd like advice on the thing, we really there to try and help. We want to give you the tools that you can make the best decision for you and your family. And if that is not within Duku and it's not the United States of America, then we shake hands and we walk away and we're quite happy about that. But let us help you guys. There are certain people in the know, if I can put it that way. Talk to people like Diane. Talk to guys that know about what's going on in terms of the immigration. Chat to Lenny and myself. There are people offering certain things specifically on investment portfolios that you need to be aware of. Just be mindful of these things. Check these things out. And if you need our advice, we obviously we're there to help. We will not ever negatively speak on someone else, but we will talk true to the facts. We'll talk to what is required and what those facts are and what the immigration services will be expecting of you. So we won't tell you don't go that way. We won't do that. What I'm trying to say to you is we will, and we won't promote our program. We will tell you what the facts are about DOL, USCIS, or an investment factor that you can make sure that you are putting your investment and your family in the best hands possible. And that's our hearts. That's honestly our hearts. And that's what I want to say for today. And on that, then I'm going to say goodbye. I think it was a good one.
Yeah, very good.
I don't know if you want to start to add to that.
No, I just want to say, guys, have a safe and lekker weekend, and hope to see you guys on Tuesday.
Cheers, guys.
And also, I wanted to ask you guys, just please to share this. At the bottom somewhere on the link, there's a share button. Share it with someone if you think this is someone that it could be meaningful for them as well. Share the love. Thanks, guys. Cheers.